After adding a few fields to your database, in order to display those fields to the end user so that they can enter data to that table, you would need to create a layout. To do that, click on Tables4Act, Manage Custom Tables. Select the table that you wish to work with and click on Design Layouts. Click on Create Layout, and this will display two screens which control how the fields are displayed on the layout. The screen on the left is where you would drag and drop the fields, resize them and move them around, and on the right, as you can see, is the properties window where you can control certain properties for the field, such as being able to show or hide the field label and change the font size and so on. But first, let's just give this layout a name. I'll just call it Software Layout, and we'll start designing this layout. And to do that, it's as simple as clicking the fields from the Properties window and dragging them over onto the layout. As you can see, by default the fields will take the full length of, the width of the layout, and if we drag another field in, and if we do not let go of the mouse, you'll see it creates sort of a border on the layout which displays where the field will be placed and how much space it will occupy. So if we wish to add this new field just above the software name field, we will position the mouse just above the field, and as you can see, it displays a little highlighted area just above the field. And if we let go of the mouse, that will add the field just above software name. Now, if we wish to add fields side by side, we can also do that, and we will select, let's say, the serial number field, and we will move the mouse so that the boundary is displayed sort of at the halfway point of the layout, and just below the download link. And if we let go of the mouse, it adds a second column, and that will display the two fields side by side. Once you have more than one field in a row, you can also move them around and resize these fields. If you wish to automatically resize the fields, so for example, if I add create date in here as well, so now the fields are poorly sized, and if we wish to auto size them, you can right click on the layout anywhere and click on best fit, and that will automatically resize the fields to the appropriate width. Now, one other important thing is to add at least one linked field, such as contacts, companies, or groups, so that once you create your custom record, it can be linked to a ACT entity. So for example, in our case, we have a software table that is linked to the contact entity, and because of that we see a contacts field displayed in the layout editor. So you want to make sure to add these link fields to your layout, and as you can see, by default those records will be linked to whichever contact or company that the user is on. Now this looks good, and in order to save the layout, we'll just hit OK, and because this is only one layout, it is marked as the default layout. If you have multiple layouts available, you can click on the set as default option here to set that layout as your default. We'll just hit close and close again. And now if we click on add, you can see all of the fields that we added are now available. These fields will resize based on the size of the add record screen. So this should work very well on different machines with different monitor sizes. So let's just enter in some data. For the download link, I'll just type in google.com. As you can see, here is our drop-down list that we added. Just select software 2, and one thing you'll notice is that is the little icon that's available on the left side of the drop-down. You can actually click that to quickly add and remove items to that drop-down list straight from the screen. However, this behavior can be disabled if you do not wish the users to be able to edit the items. And let's enter in some data. You can see by default the record is linked to the current contact that we're working with. However, if you wish to link this record to a different contact or multiple contacts, you can do that by clicking the little browse button here. That will display your entire contact list on the left, where you can select and remove any contacts that you like. In this case, we only have one record in our database, so that's fine. Just hit OK, and that adds the data to our table. So when you're working with contacts, you will only see the records that are linked to that particular contact. However, if you wish to see the entire list of records in a certain table, you would have to navigate to the nav bar here on the left. If you click on that, that will display you the entire list. And if we click on contacts, and let's just quickly duplicate and add a new contact, just call it new contact, and let's add some new data here. Okay, and as you can see in the software tab, only one record is visible, which is linked to that contact. If we switch to the different contact here, you can see the values change. And if we go to the nav bar and refresh, this will display us both the records that we added.